Hello friends, welcome back. This is Amit from Magnet, and today we are going to create this nice forest environment by using the PCG system inside Unreal Engine 5.4. So first take a look what we are going to create today. So before we start, if you are new to this channel, I recommend you to check my videos, and if you find those videos useful, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. And here I like to shout out for all those people who has already joined me as a member. So if you really want to support me, you can also join me as a member. So let's get started. So I am using the Unreal Engine 5.4.4 version. Just click on this launch button here. Then I choose this games options here. And I choose this third person template. And here I click on this starter content. And then I name my project as tutorial and click on this create button here. Once it open, first I'm going to dock my content drawer into my layout. So I go over here, that is the content drawer. Just click and then I come over here and click on this dock in layout. And now I'm going to create a new level for our scene. So I go to this file, then I click on this new level and I choose this empty level here and click create. And now I'm going to quickly set up our lighting. So I go to this window. Then I go to this environment light mixer and first I click on this create skylight, create atmospheric light, create sky atmosphere, create volumetric cloud and create height fog. And then I go down here and click on this volumetric fog and then just close this window. And now we're going to create a landscape here. So we go to the selection mode and then we go to this landscape. And in order to create the landscape very quickly, I'm going to use a height map. So make sure that you click on this manage tab and also click on this new button here. Then we come over here and click on this import from file and then we click on this three dot here. And this is the height map that we are going to use for our landscape. And I am also gave this height map into my video description so you can easily get it from there. So just click to select and click on this open. So as you can see that this is a graphical representation of our landscape. And in order to finalize this, we go down here. And here you can find this option called this number of components. We're going to decrease this value to 18 to 8. So we just click on this reset button here and then we just click on this import. And then we go back to our selection mode. So just click and click on this selection. And now we're going to zoom out our camera a little bit so we can see our landscape. So as you can see that this is our landscape, but we're going to decrease the peaks here. So we select this landscape from here. And also make sure that you select this landscape from your outliner section. Then we go to its details panel. Then we go down and we go to the scale switch here. And we make sure that you uncheck this uniform scale switch. And then we go to the Z axis value and we decrease this value to 10. Okay, so now you can see that our landscape looks something like this. So maybe we can start from here. So you can see that we can very easily create this kind of nice landscape here. So in this point, we're going to save our level. So we go to the file and click on this save all. And also we're going to name our level. So we're going to name it as a tutorial and click on this save. And now we need a landscape material. So for this landscape material, I'm going to use the Unreal Senzi Auto Landscape material, which is absolutely free. So I'm going to show you that how we can get the landscape material. So before we download, we take a moment to thank Arniel Senji to create this landscape material for us. And in order to download, I will give this link in my video description. And then we click on this UE5 landscape tutorial. And here we have to put our name and our email address here. And then just click on this get it now. And I have already downloaded this asset. So I am going to show you that how you can use this. And after download the asset, you will get this file here. So you open this folder. Then you go to this UE5 landscape folder. Then we go to this content folder and we're going to copy all these three folders here. So just select all of these three and just right click and copy. Then we're going to paste this file into our actual project directory. And in order to find our project directory very easily, we're going to open the Epic Game Launcher. Then we go to the library and here is our project. So we just right click on it. Then we click on this show in folder. So this is our actual project directory. Then we go to this content folder here and here we're going to paste the folders. So just right click and paste. Then we're going to close this window and also minimize the Epic Game Launcher. Also close this window. And now if we go to this content folder and also uncheck the static mesh filter from here, you will find this example folder, landscape folder and this megascans folder here. So we go to this example folder, then we go to this materials, double click to open, and here we get these three kind of materials here. So we're going to use this middle one, which is the nanite version. So we select our landscape. Then we go to its details panel here. Then we go down. And here we will find this landscape material slot. So we just drag this material over here. And now you can see that our landscape looks something like this, which is black. So we're going to fix this issue. So we go to the selection mode button here. Then we go to this landscape. And then we go to this paint option here. And then we go to this layers option, go to this plus switch, just click and click on this weight blended layers. And also save this shader here, just save. And also we do the same thing to these other materials here. So as you can see that our landscape look nice now. But if you want, you can also change the texture of this material. So in order to change the material, we have to download some assets from Unreal Engine new marketplace called Fab. So let me show you that how we can get the assets from the Fab. So for this, we go back to our selection mode from here. And now if you not install the Fab plugin for Unreal Engine, you have to do it fast. So for that, we're going to open the Epic Game Launcher. Then we go to the library here and in the search bar, we type for Fab. So here it is. But if you not find it here, just click on this refresh button here. So you will find it here. Then just click on this install to engine. And here you can choose the desired engine version, but I am using the 5.4.4 version and I have already installed, so I don't need to install it again. So just cancel it from here. Then we minimize this one. Then we go to this window and you will find this Fab option is available here. Just click on it. So this is the Fab window. Maximize this window here. And now we're going to download a material. So we prefer the Quixel material. So in the search bar, we type for Quixel, then hit enter, then hover your mouse pointer any of these assets and you will find this logo called this Quixel. Just click on it and you will get enter Quixel library over here. So we are looking for a ground material. So let's see. Or you can also search it from here. So just come over here and type for. So I am searching for Nordic moss ground material. Just click enter. So maybe I'm using this one. Just click. And here from you can visualize this material. And then we come over here. And here from we can change the quality. So I'm using medium quality for now. But if you want, you can also use this high quality from here. And then just click on this add to project. So in that way, you will see that it download this asset and also imported it into our project. Okay. Then we go back here. And we also download another one. So let's see. So maybe we're going to use this one. That is a Nordic forest ground root. So just click on it and then just click on this add to project. Then we're going to minimize this window. And here you can get this asset. So if you not find these assets here, just go to this content folder and you will find this Fab folder here. Just double click to open. Then you go to this Megascan folder. Then also find this surfaces folder. And here you can get all this asset. So we're going to enable a filter called this material instance. So we can visualize all these materials here. And if you not have this material instance filter here, just go over this 3-line option Then we go to this materials and just check this material instance option here. So these are the materials. So now we're going to change this texture with this material here. So how we can do that? We just uncheck this material instance and open this folder here. So this is the grass material that we want to use here. So in order to apply this material, we select our landscape. Then we come over here, that is the details panel, and open this landscape material from here. And also we can increase the size of this window here. Then we go to expand this A material here, because as you can see that this texture is present inside this A material. And now we're going to just change this material with this texture. So just drag and drop it over here. And now you can see that it instantly changed this material here. And also we have other textures here, so we can also use them. So we use this ORM texture over this roughness panel and this normal map to this normal channel here. Okay, so that's it. It's very easy to change the material here. And we can also do one thing, that we can paint some materials over here. So if we go to the selection mode, then we go to this landscape, and also we select this paint option here, and make sure that you select this paint tab. Then we go down, and if you select this sea texture here, just select it, and you can also easily paint it over here. But before we do that, we're going to decrease the brush size little bit down here, and also increase the brush fall off. Okay, and then if we click here, you can see that we can easily paint this other texture over here. Okay, and now we're going to change this texture too. So as you can see, we have already downloaded another texture. So we back from this folder and open this folder here, and here is the other texture. So in order to change this texture, as you can see that we use this C channel. So we collapse this option here and then go to this C material, just expand this, and now we're going to change all this texture from here. So we just drag it over here, and also drag this normal map over here, and also this roughness over here. Okay, so this is very easy to change. So now if we paint, you can paint this new texture over the landscape here. And now we can also decrease or increase the texture tiling. So if you want to change this C texture tiling, so just go to this C material, then we go down, and here you will find this option called this size C. So if you decrease or increase the value, you can see that we can increase or decrease the tiling here. So maybe we can decrease it to maybe 0.02 here. But as you can see that this is very big, so maybe we can increase it to maybe 0.05. So as you can see that this look nice here. And we can also put some ground assets by using this material system. So for this, we're going to close this window from here, and also we go back to our selection mode. And for the ground asset, we have to download some asset from the fab as well. So again, we go to the window, then we go to this fab, and here from we can download some ground vegetations here. So there is a very quick solution to add those assets into your project. So if you just hover over any asset that you want to add, and when you see this palm icon here, just click over this palm icon and just drag your mouse, and it will download into your project just like this. Okay, and then we use this one, and also we're going to use this one. So we just drag it just like this, and it will start download here. And we also download some ground rocks here. So in the search bar, we type for rocks, and we can add those rocks here. So we just click over here on this palm and just drag a little bit to add this asset. And once we add those assets, we can go over here this content drawer, and then go to this fab folder. Then we go to this megascans folder and go to this 3D folder, and here from we can get all these assets here. So in order to get the plant asset, we can out from this folder and go to this plants folder. And if you just click on this static mesh filter, you can visualize all these plant assets here. And if you go out from this folder and go to this 3D folder and again enable this static mesh filter, you can get all of these rock assets here. So now we can use this material system to populate those rocks over the surface here. And in order to do that, we go to our content drawer here, and we go to this landscape folder, uncheck the static mesh filter, then we go to this materials folder, and open this landscape grass. Just double click to open. Then we open this material function. Then we go to this grass varieties option and click on this plus switch. And now we're going to put the assets over here. So we just expand this index 0. Then we go to our fab folder again and open this megascans folder. Then go to this 3D folder and also enable the static mesh filter here. And let's see. So we start from this one. So we just place over material system over here and then just drag it here. Okay. And now you can see that the rocks are not populated here because we have to enable this function. So we select our landscape here and then we go to its details panel. Then we open this material from here, just double click to open. And then we go over here under this option called this foliage and we enable this material A foliage. Just enable this option and activate this one from here. And now you can see that it populate the rocks over here. So it will take little time to compile the shaders here. But as you can see that the rock amount is too high. So we can also decrease the amount. So for this, we again go to this material function here. So we go to this grass density here and we decrease the value to maybe 90 here. But as you can see that the amount is too much here. So again, we decrease the value to maybe 20 or maybe 5 here. So as you can see that this look nice here. But as you can see that some of the rocks are populated over this roadway here, but we don't want that. So in order to get rid of those rocks here, we go to our landscape mode again. Then we go to this paint option here and we select this C landscape material here that we use for this channel. And then we again start painting here. Okay, so now as you can see that we get rid of all those rocks that populated over this roadway here. So again, we also putting some other assets to populate over this landscape here because we also have other rocks model here. So again, do the same thing for other assets here. So this is how you can use this landscape material to populate the ground assets here. And now we're going to design our landscape by using the PCG system. So for this PCG system, first we have to enable the plugin. So we go to this edit, then we go to this plugins. And in the search bar, we type for PCG. And here from you can get this plugin called this procedural content generation framework. Just enable this plugin from here. Click yes. And we have to restart our engine. So just click on this restart now. And also we have to save our progresses. Just click on this save selected. And once we restart, we close this plugin bar here. And also you open our label. So we just uncheck this static mesh filter. Then we go to this content and open our label, which is called this tutorial here. And now we're going to download some asset for our PCG system. So again, we go to this window. Then we go to this fab. And from this Quixel library, we're going to download some of these tree assets here. So we're going to use this common hazel and click on this add to project. But as you can see that this asset is not compatible with 5.4 version. So we go to this drop down menu and select the highest possible version, which is the 5.3 here. And then just click on this add to project. And we also use this plant asset called this European hornbeam. Just select this one. And once you download the asset, you will find this common hazel and this European hornbeam folder here. And if you enable the static mesh filter, you will find all these assets in a single place. And now we're going to populate all this tree over this landscape by using the PCG system. So for this, we go to this content folder here and uncheck the static mesh filter. And here we're going to create a new folder. So just right click and click on this new folder. And we name this folder as PCG. Then you open this folder here. And then we're going to right click on it. And we go to this PCG and click on this PCG graph. And then we're going to rename this PCG graph as a PCG tree. And then we're going to put this PCG graph over our landscape. So we just click and drag it over this landscape here. And now if we press G, and we will see this area where this PCG will work. Okay. And now we're going to open this PCG graph. So this is the PCG graph, and we put this graph over here. And first we're going to tell this PCG system that where we want to put our asset. So in this case, we want to put our assets over this landscape. So we just come over here and right click, and in the search bar, we type for landscape. And we click on this get landscape data. And then we're going to need another node called the sampler node, by which we can sample our assets over this landscape. So again, we right click and type for sample. So we're going to use this surface sampler node here. And then we're going to connect this landscape data with this surface sampler. So just connect it like this. And now in order to put the trees, we're going to need a spawner node. So in this case, our trees are the static mesh. So we're going to use the static mesh spawner node. So just right click and type for static mesh spawner. And if you type static, we will get this node called the static mesh spawner. Just click. And then we're going to connect the surface sampler with the static mesh spawner. Just connect it like this. Okay. And now if we make some room over here, this viewport here, and we move our camera, you can see this is the area where we want to put the trees here. So we select the static mesh spawner, and then we go to its settings tab, and also we make a room here. And here you can find this option called this mesh selector. And inside this option, we get this mesh entries, and we have this plus switch to add the mesh. So just click to make a index here, and then we're going to expand this index here and also expand this descriptor. And here we find this static mesh slot here. So now we're going to find the tree that we're going to use. So we come over this content browser, and we're going to open this European hornbeam folder here. And then we click on the static mesh filter, and we get all these trees here. So maybe we're going to use this one. So we just drag it over here like this. And in that way, you can see that we can spawn the tree over this area here. But we want to spawn this tree all over this landscape here. So in order to do that, we again go to the surface sampler here, and we go to its settings tab. And here you can find this option called this unbounded. Just click it over here. So in that way, you can see that we can put this tree all over this landscape here. But as you can see that the density of the tree is too much. So we're going to decrease the density also. So in order to decrease the density, we can do several of things. So first we're going to make a room here. So as you can see that as of now, we have only 3 nodes here. So we're going to put another nodes in between those nodes here to make our trees look nicer here. So first we're going to decrease the density. And in order to make the density right, we're going to need 2 nodes here. So first we're going to put a node called this density noise. So we just right click and type for density, and we find this node called this density noise. And we're going to put this noise in between these 2 nodes here, and we connect this surface sampler with this node. So just connect it like this. And we also need another node called this density filter. So we just right click and type for density again, and we find this node called this density filter. And then we connect this attribute noise to this density filter, and then we're going to finally connect this density filter with this static mesh spawner. Okay, and also we disconnect this connection here. So we press and hold the control key and just click to disconnect. Okay, and again we're going to connect this to here, and initially you can see that we get less amount of tree here by adding those nodes here. So first we're going to see the attribute noise, which is also known as density noise. Just select this one, and then we come over here to the settings panel, and we expand this area. And here you can find this option called this noise minimum and noise maximum. So we go to this noise minimum and we decrease the value from here. And as you can see that if we decrease the value, you can see less amount of tree here. Okay. And if you increase the value, we can get more amount of tree here. So first we're going to decrease the value here like this. Okay, so we get less amount of tree here. And then also we go to this density filter, and here from you can get this lower bound and this upper bound. We can also change the value to increase or decrease the tree here. Okay, just like that. And also we can use another option to decrease the density. So if you select the surface sampler here, and here from you can get this option called this looseness. If you increase the value, you can get few amount of trees here, and if you decrease the value, you can get more amount of trees here. So for now we can make it as a default here, and also we go to this attribute noise, and we can increase the value little bit. Okay, so this density look nice here. And now we're going to put another static mesh here. So maybe we can use another tree here. So first we're going to change our light position so we can see it better. So we're going to go to the static mesh spawner again, and we go to this mesh entries and click on this plus switch. Then we go to this index 1 and expand this, and also expand the descriptor here. And now we're going to put another tree here. So maybe use this one. So just drag it over here. And as you can see that our forest look nice. But one thing you have noticed that all the trees are look very similar here. So in order to put the variation, we're going to need another node called the transform points. So we just right click over here, and in the search bar we type for transform, and we have this node called this transform points. So just put it over here, and we're going to put this node in between the static mesh spawner and this density filter. So again we make a room here, and in order to connect this transform point over here, we're going to disconnect this node here. So we press and hold the Ctrl key and just click over this line here. And then we're going to put our transform point in between those nodes, and then we connect it like this. Okay, just like that. But initially you can see that there is no changes here. So for the change, we go to select this transform point node, and we go to its settings tab here. First we're going to rotate the trees randomly. So we go to this rotation mean and the rotation max. We go to the Z axis, and we put minus 360 degree here. And as you can see that we get little bit rotation variation here. And also we go to this rotation max. We're going to put the value 360. So the tree will rotate from minus 360 degree to positive 360 degree randomly. And we can also put difference in sizes here. So we go to the scale switch here. We go to the scale mean, and we decrease the value to 0.8. And go to this maximum scale. We're going to increase the value to 1.2. So now you can see that there is also variation in size also. Okay. But one thing you have noticed that some of these trees are aligned to the surfaces here, and which is not very realistic, because you can see that the trees are making certain angles here with the surface. So this is not natural. So we also going to fix it. So we go to this absolute rotation option here. Just tick this on, and now you can see that our trees look right here. And one thing also you have noticed that some of these trees are above from this ground here. So we go to this offset minimum and the offset max, and we go to the Z axis here, and we're going to put a negative value here. So maybe we put minus 20 here, and also go to the offset max, we put minus 20. So in that way, all the trees are not looking floating here. So this is how we can put this tree by using this PCG system. And now we're going to design our level. So we're going to minimize this one, and then we come over here, and first we're going to put a mannequin here so we can understand the actual size. So we're going to disable this filter here. Then we go to this characters, and we go to this mannequins, go to the mesh, and we're going to put this one. And as you can see that very big here. So again we're going to open this landscape material. So we select our landscape from here, and then we go to its details panel, and we open this material from here. Then we go to this C material, because this material is placed on the C channel here, and we go down and we go to the size C, and we're going to increase the value. Okay, so I think this look nice. And also we're going to narrow this pathway here. So again we minimize this one, and we go to the selection mode, and we go to this landscape mode here, and then we go to this paint option, and we select this C channel here, and we're going to narrow this area. So in order to narrow this area, first we press and hold the shift key on the keyboard, and then just start painting, and you can see that we can narrow this pathway here. Okay, so as you can see that our path look nice here, but one thing you have noticed that some of these trees like this one or this one are grow over this path here, but we don't want that. So we have to tell this PCG system that not to grow this tree over this path here. So for this we go to this content browser, and then we go to this PCG folder here, and here we're going to create a spline blueprint here. So we right click on it, and then we go to this blueprint class, and we select this actor, and then we're going to name it as a BP spline here. Then we're going to open this blueprint, and here we're going to maximize this window. Then we go to this components, and we click on this add, and in the search bar we type for spline. So here is the spline. So here it is. Okay, so that's it. Just click on this compile, and then we close this. Okay, and now we're going to bring this spline over our landscape here. So maybe we start from here. And then we're going to rotate this to this side. And now we're going to extend this spline over this pathway here. So for this, we again press W, and then we select this last spline point here, and then we press and hold the Alt key, and then drag this axis here like this. Okay, just like this. So extend the spline is little bit difficult, but you have to do this. So just select this last spline point here, and then again press and hold the Alt key to duplicate this point, and then just drag it like this. And now we're going to open this tree PCG system. Just double click to open. And place it over here. And now we're going to get the spline data over this PCG system. So you just right click, and in the search bar we type for get spline data. So here it is. Just click, and we want this spline to be project over this landscape. So we need another node called the projection node. So you just right click and search for projection. So here it is. And also we need a landscape data on which our spline will be projected. So again we right click here and search for get landscape data. So here it is. And now we're going to connect this spline data over this input here, and the landscape data will connect it with this projection target. And now we're going to sample our spline. So we need another node called the spline sampler. So just right click, and in the search bar we type for sample. So here we get this spline sampler node, and then we also connect it here. Okay. And now we're going to put a volume over this spline, because as you can see that the spline is very narrow line here, but we have to put a volume so the PCG can follow the volume here. So for this we're going to need another node called this extends modifier. So just right click and search for extends. So here it is. And also we connect it with this. And now we need a difference node so the PCG can make the difference here. So for this again we right click and search for difference, and here is the node. So maybe we can place this node over here. Okay, and then we're going to connect this surface sampler with this difference node here. So just connect it here like this, and also connect this extends modifier over here. Okay, like this. And then finally we connect it with this attribute noise. But as you can see that we already connected here, so we're going to disconnect this link. So we press and hold the Ctrl key and just click to disconnect this link here. And then we finally connect this difference node with this attribute noise here. Okay, just like this. But as you can see that the trees is still on the road here, because we don't change anything here. So we just go over here. First we go to this get spline data. So we tell this spline data to collect data from this BP spline blueprint here. So how you can do that? We select this get spline data. Then we come to the settings tab here. And here from the actor filter, we go this drop down list and select this all world actors. So in that way, it will search for the spline which is present in this world here. And then we also specify this blueprint here. So maybe we can make a room here. Then we go to this actor selection. So it is searched by tag. So we're going to change this by class here. And then in this class selector, we go to this drop down list and we search for this blueprint here. So in the search bar, we type for BP. So here is this spline. We just select this spline here. So in that way, this node will collect the data from this spline blueprint here. And then we come to this spline sampler here. And here we're going to tick this unbound checkbox here. So in that way, this spline will affect enter this world here. Just click on this checkbox here. And finally, we go to this extents modifier to put the volume over this spline here. So we go to the settings tab and we go to this extents and we increase the value to 100 by 100 here. And in order to visualize this, we're going to debug this node. So we press D after selecting this node. So you can see the volume here. But as you can see that the volume is in the place here and it is very flat here. So we go to this mode option and we go to this drop down and we change this to multiply here. Okay, so in that way we can get this kind of nice volume over this road here. And you can also see that we making this difference here. So if you see, if we reset this value here, you can see those trees over this pathway here. But if we put the value here like this, you can see that we're making the difference here. But also we select this difference node here and we change the density function from minimum to binary here. Okay, so now you can see that we can make the difference here. So again, we disable this debugging option here. And now you can see that our path will not and you can see that the trees are not on the path here. And now you can see that if we make the room here and if we select any spline point here and if we change the spline position, you can also see that the PCG will update with this change here. Okay, just like that. And you can also do one thing, that if you think that the trees are very away from this path, we can also narrowing this area. So for this, we go to this extents modifier again and we're going to decrease the value. So maybe put 50 by 50 here. So in that way, you can see that the trees are very close to this path here. Okay. So this is how you can adjust this. Okay, so these are the basic stuff for this scene. So before you do anything, first we're going to create a camera for our scene. So we minimize this window here. Then we go to this box option here, go to the cinematics and create a cine camera actor. And then we come to the outliner section and select our cine camera actor. Then we right click on it and just click on this snap object to view. Then we go to this perspective here and select our cine camera actor. And also we're going to create a sequence for our scene. So we go to the sequencer tab and click on this add level sequence. And then we're going to name our sequence as tutorial sequence and click save. Then we're going to bring our camera over our sequence. So we select our cine camera actor and just drag it over here. And now we're going to set up our camera a little bit. So we select our camera components from here. Then we go to its details panel and first we go to this film back. We go to this drop down menu and select the 16:9 DSLR preset here. Okay. Then we also going to decrease the camera focal length. So maybe we're going to use 15 mm lens here. So just put 15 there. Okay. And in that way, we can get this kind of nice viewing angle here. Then also we select our camera component and go to its details panel. And in the search bar, we type for exposure. Then we go to this metering mode, activate this option. Then we go to this drop down menu and change this to manual. Then we go to this exposure compensation, activate this option, and we're going to increase the exposure compensation to maybe 10 here. So you can see that this looks something like this. And also we go over this camera component and go to this current aperture. We're going to decrease the value so we can brighten up a little bit our scene here. And now if we move our sun, so press Ctrl and L and then move the mouse here like this. you can get this kind of nice lighting here also. And then again we select our camera component and we clear this search bar option here. Then we go down. First we go to the bloom settings, we activate this option and change it from standard to convolution here. Then we activate this intensity option and decrease the value to maybe 0.02 here. Okay. Then also we go down, we go to this lens flares option, expand this and we enable it, and also we're going to decrease the value, so maybe 0.01. Then also we go down here and we go to this image effect option and we enable this vignette effect from here, and also we increase the intensity from here. We go to this film grain option, enable this option and we put the value 0.5 here, so we can get little bit of film grain here. Okay, so this is the simple setup for our camera. And now you can see that our landscape vegetation look little bit bigger here. So we can also adjust it, or we can also change it by other assets here. So let's download some assets from the fab. And from here, let's see what we have here. So maybe we use this mossy rock here and I add to my project. Then we can also use some of this fallen barks here. So if I go to this fab folder here and then enable the static mesh filter here, and you can see that I have downloaded some of this asset from the fab. So if I make a room here, you can see I have downloaded some of these rocks here and also some of these fallen sticks and some of the small plants here. So you can search for those assets and you can easily download it from the fab. So now we're going to use those assets here. So again, make the room here. So first we're going to change the ground vegetations here. So for this, we go to this content browser here and uncheck the static mesh filter. Then we go to this landscape folder and we go to this materials. And we go to this landscape grass material, and again we open this landscape grass a material function, just double click to open, and we expand this grass varieties here, just expand it from here. And if we open this index 1, just expand this. So as you can see that we have this rock density to 2 here. So first we're going to increase this value. So maybe we increase it to 20 here, and you can see that it populated so many rocks here, but we're going to decrease the size here. So we go down here and you can find this scaling option here and it is set to uniform. So we just go to this scale X and we're going to decrease the value to maybe 0.2 to 0.8 here. Okay. So we get smaller rocks here, and now we can even increase the density a little bit more. So maybe we can increase it to maybe 94 here, and maybe we can also decrease the size a little bit down. So we're going to the max scale here and we decrease it to 0.5. Okay, so we get smaller rocks here. So we go to this index 1, collapse this and go to this index 2 here, and this hold this fern here. So we're going to use other asset instead of this fern. So we go to this fab folder, then we go to the static mesh filter, just enable this. So here from we can use some of these fallen sticks here. So maybe use this one. So just drag it over here and we can increase the density. So again we go to the grass density here and just increase the value. So you can see that we get this kind of fallen sticks over here. Okay, just like that. Maybe we can make some variation to its size also. So we go down here and we decrease the size X here. So we just decrease it to maybe 0.3 here. This is the minimum size, and go to the maximum size. We're going to also decrease it to maybe 0.8 here. And also we're going to get rid of these plants also. So we go up and collapse this index 2 and go to the index 3. So maybe we can use these fallen sticks here. So we just drag it over here and we're going to increase the density. So we just increase it like this. And now you can see that this sticks all over this place here. But I think this is too much dense. So again, we go to the density and decrease the value here. And also we put the size variation here. So we go down and we put minimum size to maybe 0.2 here and maximum size to 0.8. So in that way, we can get a decent amount of fallen sticks over this landscape here. Okay, and now we're going to start working for our path here. So we just click on this save here and minimize this one. And now first we're going to make our path little bit concave here. So as you can see that our path is very flat to this ground here, but we want our path little bit concave here. So in order to do that, we go to the selection mode here and we go to this landscape, and then we go to the sculpt mode here and also select this sculpt tool here, and we go to this brush size. We're going to decrease the brush size here, And also we increase the brush fall off to all the way 1 here. So we can get very smooth sculpting here. And then we want to be our road little bit concave here. So in order to do that, we press and hold the shift key on the keyboard and then just click. So in that way, we can make our road little bit downwards here. And in order to maintain this curve all over this road here, we're going to select this flatten tool here. And then I move my mouse pointer over here. And then we just click. So we can maintain this curve here. Okay, so as you can see that our path little bit downwards here. And also we're going to smoothen the edges here. So we select the smooth tool here. And then we go to this edges and just make it little bit smoother here. Okay, just like that. And now you can see that our path look nice here. And now we're going to put a decal all over this road here. And for this, we're going to use a PCG system. So again, we go back to our selection mode here. And we go to this content here and uncheck the static mesh filter. Then we go to this PCG folder here. And here we're going to make a PCG system for our road. So we just right click. And then we go to this PCG and click on this PCG graph. And we're going to rename it as a PCG road. And in this PCG graph, we're going to use this spline blueprint to follow this path here. So in order to do that, first we're going to open this BP spline blueprint here. Just double click to open. And also maximize this window here so we can see it properly. And here we have to add the PCG system that we just built. So we go to this add option here. And in the search bar, we type for PCG. And here is the PCG system, just click. So this is the PCG component. And here we're going to assign our road PCG. So we select this PCG system and we go to this details panel here. And then we go down. And in this graph tab, we're going to add our road PCG here. So we go to this drop down menu. And in the search bar, we type for PCG road. So here it is. Just select this one. And that's it. Just click on this compile. And close this window. And then we're going to open this PCG road. Just double click to open. And we place this window over here. And first we're going to put a spline data. So we just right click and search for get spline data. So in this spline data, we're going to assign our BP spline here. So we select this get spline data. Then we go to its settings tab and we go to this actor filter. We go to this drop down and we select all world actors. And go to this actor selection. We're going to change this by tag to by class here. And in this actor selection class, we go to this drop down and we search for this BP spline here. So we just type BP and here it is. Just select this one. And now we're going to project this spline data over this landscape. So we go to this output and we search for a node called projection. And in this projection target, we're going to assign our landscape. So we again right click and search for get landscape data. So here it is. Then we connect it with this projection target. Okay. So just like that. And now we're going to sample our spline. So we're going to need a spline sampler node here. So just right click and type for spline sampler and we connect it like this. And then we need another node called the transform point. So just right click and search for transform. Here it is. And we connect it like this. And then we're going to assign our decal here. But before we do that, we have to download some decal. And I'm going to use this decal here. So just click on this add to project. And also use this dried leaf pile here. So just add it to my project here like this. Okay, so as you can see that I have downloaded some of these decals from the fab. So if we go to this decals folder here under this fab, and if we enable this material instance, and you can see that I have downloaded some of these decals from fab, and now we're going to use it here. So in order to put the decal over this spline system here, we're going to use a new node called the spawn actor. So we just right click over here and then type for spawn, and here you will find this spawn actor node here. Just put it over here. And then we connect it with this transform point. Okay. Then we're going to select this spawn actor and we go to the settings tab here and we go to this template actor class. We go to this drop down and we select decal here. So we search for decal and we will find this decal actor. Okay. Just like that. Then we go to this option and we go to the drop down and we select this no margin here. So here you can see that it already cast some decals here, but there is no texture, so it will look like this. And in order to edit this decal here, we have to make it editable. So we make a room here, and you can find this option called this allow template actor editing. So we just enable this option here. Then we go to this template actor, expand this, and we find this decal option here, expand this also, then also expand this decal here, and also expand this one. And here you will find this slot here. Here we are going to put the decals here. So first we are going to assign this decal here. So we just drag it over here. And you can see that instantly it put these decals over here. So we can also increase the density of the decal. So if we make some room here and we go over here, that is this spline sampler here. And first we're going to make it unbound so it can affect all over this world here. So we select this spline sampler, then we go down, and in this unbound tab, we're going to enable this one. And then we go up here and we're going to increase the subdivision value here. Okay, so this look decent here, but this look very repetitive here. So we're going to make some variation. So we go to this transform point, and here we're going to rotate it individually. So we go to the z-axis value and we put minus 360 here, and also put plus 360 here. So you can see that this look really nice here. And also we have other decals here, so we're going to put them as well. So in order to do that, first we go to select these two nodes here, that is the transform point and the spawn actor, and we press Ctrl D to duplicate those nodes here. And first we go to this spawn actor, and we're going to connect this two node with this spline sampler here, just like this. Okay, and then we select this spawn actor, and we go to this template, go to this decal, and then we find this slot here, and here we're going to put other decals here. So maybe we use this one. Okay, but as you can see that this look very big here, so we're going to decrease the scale. So we go to open this transform points node here, and here is the scale switch. So if we make some room here, we can decrease the value from here. So maybe 0.2, and the maximum scale will be 0.5 here. Okay, so in that way we get little bit of these decals here. Okay, and now again we have other decals, so we're going to use them as well. So in this time, maybe we're going to duplicate these three node here, and then just press Ctrl D. So in that way we can also get control to the density here by using this spline sampler here. So we're going to connect this node with this spline sampler here, and then we're going to select this spawn actor, and then we're going to expand all of this, and here we're going to put this decal here. Okay, and now if we go over here, that is a spline sampler, we can also increase or decrease the density of this individual decals here. So that is why I duplicate the spline sampler for this system here. So maybe we can increase the value, so like this. So as you can see that this look nice here. Okay, so now you can see that our road look little bit better now. Okay, so this is how we can put the decals all over this roadway here. But one thing you have noticed that these assets are look very bad here. So we can also change the position here. So for this again we're going to open the material functions. So we uncheck this material instance here, and then we go to this landscape folder, and we go to this materials and open this material function again, and here we go to this index 0 here, and we're going to decrease the density here for this rock here. So we go to this grass density and we decrease it to 0.2 here. Okay, so we can get very less amount this rock here, and maybe we're going to increase the scale. So we go to this minimum scale to 2 here and maximum scale to 4 here. So as you can see that we get this rock over here and there, but I think this is too much larger. So maybe we can decrease the value to 3 here. Okay, so this look decent here. And now we're going to create some other PCG system for this ground vegetations here. So we save this from here and also minimize this. And one thing you have noticed that our texture look very bad here because I put so many assets here, and also at the same time I'm screen recording this. But if I go to the settings tab and we go to this engine scalability, and if you select this cinematic preset, and now you can see that our scene look nice here. Okay, but at the same time it also lag our performance here. So for the performance, we go to the scalability, and in this time we're going to select the high scalability settings here. So in that way our texture look bad, but we have the performance here. So now we're going to put some other PCG system for our ground asset here. So we go to this PCG folder again, or we can go to this content folder. Then here is the PCG folder. So we open this PCG folder here, and here first we go to select this PCG tree, and we're going to duplicate this. So we don't need to do the same thing again and again. So just we duplicate this one. So just press Ctrl D, and then we're going to rename it. So we just right click and rename this, and we rename it as a ground vegetation. And then we're going to apply this PCG system over our landscape. So I just drag it over here. Okay, just like that. But as you can see that our trees also appear here because we have to edit this PCG system. So I double click to open. So here is the PCG system. So we're going to change the static mesh here. So initially it has this tree here because we duplicate this PCG system here. So we go to select the static mesh spawner. And here we're going to change this. So first we're going to delete all the static meshes that we have here. So just click on this delete switch here. And then we click on this plus switch for new entries. So we expand this index and also expand the descriptor here. So we have downloaded the common hazel asset pack before. So we select this common hazel and also enable the static mesh filter. And here from we can get this kind of nice ground vegetations here. So maybe use this one. So just put it over here. So in order to control the density, again we go to make some room here, and we go to the surface sampler here. Just select this one, and we're going to increase the value here. So in that way we get less amount of ground asset here, but we want this asset to be little bit downwards to the ground here. So for this we go to this transform point here, and then we go to this offset minimum and offset max. We're going to decrease this value even more. So initially we have this -20. So we're going to decrease this. Okay. And also we're going to increase the density a little bit more now. So we go to the surface sampler again, and maybe we can increase the density a little bit more. And also we're going to decrease the scale of this asset here. So for this again we go to this transform point, and we're going to decrease the scale here. So we go to the scale minimum and scale maximum. We're going to decrease it to maybe 0.2 and the maximum scale to be 0.5 here. But you can see that we lose this asset here because we have this offset value here. So maybe we're going to increase this offset value here a little bit. So now you can see that these are the plants here. Okay, so here it is. So here it is. And now again we're going to increase the density a little bit more. And in order to increase the density a little bit more, we go to this density filter and we decrease this value called this lower bound. So we just decrease it like this. So in that way we can get a little bit more assets here. And now we're going to put other ground vegetations here. So we come over here and we select this static mesh spawner here, and we go to this mesh entries, click on this plus switch, go to this index 1, go to the descriptor, and let's see what we have here. So maybe use this one. So just drag it over here, and also we use another one. So for this again we're going to duplicate these two nodes here. Just Ctrl D to duplicate, and then we connect it like this, and then we go to the static mesh spawner for this second one, and here we delete all these entries here, and then we click on this plus switch, go to this index, go to the descriptor here, and maybe use another one. So maybe use this one. So we just drag it over here, and then we go to this transform point here, and maybe we can dip it down a little bit more. And also we're going to decrease the scale of this. So we go to this maximum scale and we decrease the value to maybe 0.3. Okay, so now you can see that this look nice here. Okay, so it's all depends on you that how you want to design this area here, but as you can see that the process will be very same here. Okay, So again, we're going to create another PCG system for some ground rocks here. So again, we save this one and we minimize this. Then again, we go to this content folder and uncheck the static mesh filter. Then go to this PCG. So we're going to duplicate this PCG tree again. So just Ctrl D to duplicate. And we're going to rename it. And we name it as a ground rocks here. Open this PCG system here. And then we go to the static mesh spawner. We're going to delete all this entry. So we just delete it from here. And then we go to this plus switch and go to this index, go to this descriptor. And we're going to put some asset here. But before we do that, we go to apply this PCG system to our landscape here. So we just drag it over here. And then we go to this fab folder here. So we go to this fab. Then we select the static mesh filter. And here from we can use some of these ground assets here. So first we're going to use this one. So we just drag it over here. And then we go to this transform point and we're going to increase the scale. So maybe put 2 here and also put this maximum scale to maybe 3 here. And then we go to this offset and we make it -5 here. Okay, so let's see. So here is this asset here. But one thing you have noticed that these assets are floating from this ground. So we go to this absolute rotation and in this case we're going to uncheck this. Okay, just like that. And also we're going to randomize this. So we go to the surface sampler here and we're going to change the seed here. Okay, just like that. And also we're going to increase the scale little bit more. So we go to this transform point and we're going to increase the scale to maybe 4/5 here. Okay. And sometimes you have noticed that some of these assets are also intersect with this roadway here. So for this, we also have the control to make those assets away from this roadway here. So for this, we again go to this extends modifier here and we're going to increase the value from here. Okay. So in that way, those assets are placed away from this roadway here. Okay, so now you can see that eventually our scene look very nice here. So maybe if we can change our light direction here, so we press Ctrl and L. And if we change our light direction here like this. And also we can adjust our fog here. So if we go to this outliner section and search for fog. And we select this exponential height fog. And if we decrease the value from here. And also we select this fog and we put a little bit higher here like this. So as you can see that our fog also look decent here. But as you can see that our trees look very similar here. So maybe we can use another PCG system for the tree. And in that PCG we're going to put some big tree here. So for this we go to this content browser and go to this PCG folder here. And in this time we again going to duplicate this PCG tree. So just press Ctrl D to duplicate this one. And here we also rename it. So we just click over here and type big trees. And then we bring it over our landscape here. Then we're going to open this PCG system. And first we go to the surface sampler and we're going to decrease the density. So here it is. And then we go to this transform point and in this time we're going to increase the scale. So we select transform points and we go to the scale switch here. And maybe we go to this minimum scale, we put value of 2 here. And in this maximum scale, we put 4 here. Okay. So in that way, we can get little bit of bigger trees here. So like this. And if we go to this surface sampler again, and if we increase the density by decreasing the looseness here. So as you can see that we have some of these big trees here. Okay. So like this. Okay. So now if we change our light position here, you can get this kind of nice scene here. Okay. So if we minimize this one, you can see that our landscape looks something like this here. So there are so many variations here, and we can also put different trees here. So for this, we're going to open this PCG tree system here. Just double click to open. Then we go to the static mesh spawner, and we go to this mesh entry, and we click on this plus switch. So we expand this index 2, also expand this descriptor here. Then we go to this European hornbeam and also enable the static mesh filter. And here you can put the trees that you want. So maybe put this one. And then again we go to this plus switch, expand this index, expand this descriptor here, and maybe use this one. So it all depends on you that which tree you want to use here. Okay, so just like that. Maybe not this one, so maybe use another one. Let's see. So maybe use this one here. And also we can change the density here. So we go to the surface sampler here, and we're going to decrease the value here. So in that way we get this kind of dense forest here. So it all depends on you that how you want to design. And also we're going to select these large trees here, and then we go to this big tree PCG system, and we want this tree little bit away from our roadway here. So we select this extends modifier, and we're going to increase the size here. So you can see that the big trees are away from our roadway here. Okay, so it all depends on you that how you want to design. So maybe we can bring back some of these trees here. Okay, so minimize this one, and now you can see that our scene look very nice here. Okay, and then again we're going to put other ground vegetations here. So for this again we're going to make a new PCG system. So we go to this PCG folder again, and then we going to duplicate this ground rocks PCG system here. So just press Ctrl D, and we also rename it as a ground vegetation 2 here. And then we're going to apply this PCG system over our landscape here, and then open this PCG system. Then we go to the static mesh spawner here, go to this mesh entry, delete this one, and now we're going to put some ground plants here. So I have already downloaded, so I go to this fab folder and open this megascan folder. Then we go to this plants folder, and we enable the static mesh filter, and here we can get some of these nice plants here. And we're going to use so many plants over here, so we're going to put them accordingly. So first start from this one. So we go to the static mesh spawner, and we go to this mesh entry, click on this plus switch, expand this, also expand this descriptor here, and we're going to put these plants here. But as you can see that the size is very much here. So we go to this transform point, and we're going to reset the scale here. So just reset the scale from here. And also we're going to increase the density. So we select the surface sampler, and we decrease the looseness here. And we want this small plant very close to this roadway here. So for this we go to this extends modifier for this PCG system here, and we decrease the value here. So maybe we put 50 here, or maybe 20. Okay, so in that way you can see that those plants are generated very close to this roadway here. Or maybe we can put 10 here. So you can also visualize this. So if we go to this extend modifier and press D to debug this, so you can see that these are the volume. So if we decrease the value here, so in that way we can bring those plants very close to this roadway here. Okay, and also we going to increase the density of these small plants. So we go to this density filter, and we're going to decrease this lower bound here like this. So we'll get more dense these vegetations here. Okay, and then also we're going to put other entries. So we go to the static mesh spawner, and we go to this mesh entry and make the other entries here. So the process is very same. So just go to this index, go to the descriptor, and use other plants here. So we put so many small plants here. So it all depends on you that how much variation you want here. And also we're going to increase the density. So we go to this attribute noise here, and we go to this noise minimum and we're going to increase the value here. Okay, so now you can see that our scene look very nice here. And also we go to this ground rock PCG system here. So let's see. So here it is. And we're going to bring them little bit down to the ground here. So we select these transform points and we're going to decrease the value here. Okay, just like that. So now it look nice here. And also we're going to get rid of this one. So we select this PC ground system here and we're going to disable this debugging here. So as you can see that our scene look very nice so far. And now we're going to put some extra details. So I'm going to download some asset from the Epic Game Marketplace. And for the extra detail, I am using this Megascan Forest path. But unfortunately, this asset is not migrated in FIAB. So you can only use this asset if you have it in your Epic Game Vault. But it is totally optional. So I'm just click on this add to project. So here is the asset. So it's called this MS Forest Tute. And in order to use them, we're going to use the material function. So for this, we go to this landscape folder here and uncheck the static mesh filter. Then we go to this materials, go to this landscape grass, and we're going to open this material function, which is the LGA. And then we collapse this indexes here. And we're going to create a new index by clicking here. And then we expand this index 4 here. And here we're going to put the asset. So we go to this MS Forest Tute here and enable the static mesh filter. And first we're going to use these dead leaves here. So we just drag it over here. So in that way we can get this kind of falling dead leaves over the surface here. But if you think that this is very dense here, so we can decrease the density from here as well. And also we can do one thing, that we can convert all this asset into a nanite mesh. So we will get a little bit of nice performance here. So we're going to select all of this asset from here and then we right click and go to this nanite and click on this enable nanite for 31 meshes. Okay, so in that way we will get little bit of performance here. And now we're going to use other assets here. So again we're going to create another index here. Okay, so as you can see that our scene look very nice here. Okay, so we minimize this window here. And now if we change our lighting, okay, so now you can see that this look really amazing. And one thing we can also do, that you can see that our shadow is too hard here at the edges. So we can also soften the edges here. So we go to this outliner section and search for directional light. Here it is. Then we go to its details panel here and we go to the source angle and we're going to increase the value to maybe 4 here. So in that way we get this kind of nice soft shadow here. So as you can see that our sun look very big here. So maybe we can decrease the value maybe 3.5 here. Okay, so this is how you can design the entire scene here. But if you want to make some cinematic shot with some specific space here, you can design it by manually here. So for this, we're going to use some foliage system to make some extra detail to a specific area. So we go to the selection mode, then we go to this foliage here, and here we're going to put some extra details to this road edges here. So for this, we're going to use this fallen sticks here. So we're going to select this one and also press and hold the shift key and select all of these fallen sticks here. Then we just drag it over here and then we select all of them. And also in this density, we're going to decrease the value to maybe 50 here. And then we go to this brush size and decrease the value to maybe 50 here. And then we're going to start painting here. So as you can see that our closer scene look very blurry here. So we go to this sequencer and we go to this manual focus distance and we decrease the focus distance here. So in that way, our near scene will be in focus here. So now we're going to start painting here. So as you can see that when we paint, we put this nice extra details to our scene here. And now maybe we're going to put some falling leaves over here and there. So we're going to select this falling leaves here, and then we drag it over here, and we uncheck these sticks here. So we select all of these sticks and uncheck them. So we can only paint these falling leaves here, and then we just start painting here. Okay, so now you can understand that how you can put these nice extra details over here and there. So it will really enhance the scene here. Okay, so this is how I designed this entire scene here. And now if you want, you can also put extra details there. So if we go to this content browser, and if I go to this fab folder here, and also check on the static mesh filter, we can get this kind of nice rock assets here that we downloaded. So if we put over it here, and then if we increase its scale, we can also manually make some nice designs here. And now finally, we're going to make a nice camera animation to our scene. So we go to the sequencer tab here, and let's see, we want to make a 20 seconds long video. So we go to this APS tab here, then we go to the show time as, and we select the seconds option here. Okay. And then we come over here and we type 20. So it will make a 20 seconds long time frame here. And then we also make this end time to 20 seconds here. And then we're going to expand our camera cut to this 20 seconds here. And then we come to this very first frame here, and let's choose our starting point here. So maybe we can start from here. And now we're going to make a keyframe here. But before we're going to make this keyframe, we're going to change the default keyframe method. So we come over here and we change it from cubic to linear here. And then we make a keyframe. And also we make a auto keyframe switch here. Then we go to this last frame here, and we move our camera forward here like this. And then if we move our cursor here, and if we play, you can see that we can make this kind of nice camera animation here. But we also make some camera shake here. So for this, we go to this content browser, then we uncheck the static mesh filter, and we go to this content folder here, and then we right click and we make a blueprint class here. And in this all classes, we expand this and we search for shake. And here is the camera shake base. Just select this one and click on this select. And then we're going to open this blueprint here. Just double click to open, and we make a room here. First we go to this root shake pattern, and we go to this drop down menu, and we select this parallel noise camera shake pattern. Then we expand this root shake pattern. First we go to this timing, and we change the duration from 1 second to 0, so it can work enter the timeline here. And then we place it over here. We go to our sequencer tab, and we go to this camera component, go to this plus switch here, just click. Then we go to this camera shake, and we select our new blueprint here for shake. Okay. And we make this blueprint to affect our enter timeline here. So we just drag it to make it enter timeline here. And if we play, we can get little bit of camera shake, but it is not so significant. So we come over here and we go to this rotation, and we go to this rotation amplitude multiplier. We're going to change this to 1. And now if we play, you can see that we have little bit of camera shake here, but it is too much here. So we're going to decrease the frequency. So we decrease it to 0.5 here. So we can get very subtle camera shake here. Okay. And also we're going to put some other keyframe to make our camera animation little bit interesting here. So maybe at the beginning, we start from looking at this bottom here. And then if we go few frames forward here, then we make our camera look to this left side here, to this dead tree here. And then if we go little bit forward here, maybe we look at this rock here like this. Then again go few frame forward here, and we suddenly move to the right side here. And then again few frame forward, we again orbit this rock here, and then finally we go forward here to the last frame here, and we can see to this rock here. And then we select all of these keyframes here, and we right click, and we change this keyframe interpolation method from linear to cubic here. Okay, so now if we play, you can see we can get this kind of nice camera animation here. Okay, but if you want to know more about camera animation, I have a dedicated tutorial on this, so you can check my videos for that. Okay, so this is it, and now I'm going to show you that how you can render this in a high quality. So in order to render it in a high quality, we need a plugin called this movie render queue. So we go to this edit, then we go to this plugins, and in the search bar we type for movie render queue, and here it is. Just enable this plugin here, and also enable this movie render queue additional render passes. Click yes, and just click on this restart now. And once it restart, we close this plugin bar here and open our level, and also open our sequence here. Then we go to this perspective and select our cine camera actor. So here it is. And then we go to this window here, and we go to the cinematics, and we get this movie render queue here. Then we go to this render, and we select our sequence. So in this case, the tutorial sequence is the actual sequence. Then we go to the settings and go to this unsafe config. First we're going to delete this JPEG sequence here. Then you go to this settings. First you go to this anti-aliasing, and we increase the temporal sample count to 16 here. And also we click on this override anti-aliasing, and also we check this warm-up frame count and render warm-up frames. Then we go to these settings, and we go to this camera, and we go to the shutter timing. We change this to frame close. Then again we go to these settings, we go to this console variables. Then we go to this plus switch here, and here we type for r.screen percentage, and we put the value 100 here. Then again we click on this plus switch, and we put a console variable for depth of field. So we just press depth of field quality, and we increase the value to 4. Then again we go to these settings, we go to this game overrides, and we don't need to change anything here. Then again we go to the settings, go to this high resolution, and we also check on this override subsurface scattering here. And again we go to the settings, and we select our render format to be EXR. So we just select the EXR sequence, which is in 16-bit. Then we finally go to the output here, and here from you can specify your output directory, and then you can also change the resolution. So default is full HD, but you can also change it to 4K if you want. And if you change the frame rate, you can also do it from here. So if you check this box, so you can able to change the frame rate here. So in general we can use this 23.976, but you can also change it to 60 fps as well. Okay, so that's it. Then you just click on this accept here, and then you just click on this render local, and you can easily get your render. So this is it. This is how I make this entire scene here by using the PCG system as well as this nice landscape material here. So I hope you really get the idea and I hope you really enjoy this video. So if you like this video, I recommend you to check my other videos, and if you like those videos, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. So this is for today and we'll see in my next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.